My friend, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Take a slow breath if you need to, because what we're about to talk about is not loud, not aggressive, not about yelling, begging, or proving yourself to anyone. This message is about quiet strength, about the kind of silent moves that make those who disrespected you realize what they've lost. Before we go any further, I want you to type in the comments right now. I will rise. Not for me, but for you. It's your first silent move. It means you're awake, aware, and ready to change how you respond to disrespect, especially from women who took your kindness for weakness. If you're new here, welcome to the Wisdom Within channel. This is where ancient wisdom meets everyday life. If you want more guidance like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss these messages that your soul needs to hear. And if you're already part of this family, I'm grateful for you. Now listen closely. This video may be one of the most important lessons you hear today. Let's talk about disrespect, not in anger, but in truth. There comes a moment in every man's life when he is treated like he doesn't matter. Maybe she ignored your effort. Maybe she laughed at your feelings. Maybe she left you on red when you needed her. Maybe she said you'd never become anything. And in that moment, something inside you broke, or at least it felt like it did. But what you don't know yet, what I'm here to remind you, is that this moment is not your end. It's your beginning. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." You don't lower yourself to disrespect them back. You don't shout. You don't chase. You don't explain your value. You simply become so focused on your purpose that your absence speaks louder than your presence ever did. Stoicism teaches us that power isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. So when a woman disrespects you, you don't win by trying to change her mind. You win by mastering your own. The silent moves you make after the disrespect matter more than any argument. These moves are quiet. They are not made on Instagram. They are not posted to make her jealous. They are made in private when no one is watching except God and your own conscience. You see, most men react emotionally. They try to prove they're worthy. They send long messages, they beg. They ask why she changed, why she walked away, why she didn't see the good in them. But a Stoic man does something different. He steps back. He watches. He feels the pain. Yes, but as Seneca once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. What hurts the most is not her actions. It is the story you tell yourself about what her actions mean. That you're not enough. That you're unworthy. That you have to chase love. But you don't. When a woman disrespects you, the first silent move is this: you stop explaining yourself. You do not try to fix her opinion of you. You do not send one more paragraph hoping she'll understand. You simply let her believe what she wants to believe, because the truth doesn't need defending. It reveals itself in time. The second silent move is to become unavailable, not as revenge, but as respect for yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You cannot control how she treats you, but you can control how much access she gets to you. You don't slam doors. You don't block out of anger. You simply move in silence, less texting, fewer explanations, no unnecessary conversations. You don't hate her. You just stop handing her the power to affect your peace. And maybe right now you're thinking, but I still love her. I know. You cared, you gave. You were loyal. But listen, love without self-respect is not love. It is attachment. A Stoic man loves deeply, but he never allows love to turn him into a slave to someone's attention. When she disrespects you, she teaches you something. She teaches you where your boundaries should be. Do not cry for those who show you your limits. Thank them silently and grow beyond who you were. Third silent move. You improve without announcing it. No motivational quotes, no "I'm working on myself" posts. Just action. You wake up earlier. You work harder. You take care of your body. Go to the gym, push your limits. Your silence becomes discipline. Your routine becomes prayer. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for encouragement. You decide who you want to be and you start becoming him. The fourth move is to let go of bitterness. That's the hardest one, isn't it? To be disrespected and not become cold. To be hurt and not turn hateful. But this is where real strength lies. Seneca said, "How much better to heal than seek revenge." Your goal isn't to make her regret losing you. Your goal is to become someone you don't regret being. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting her back. It simply means you refuse to poison your own heart with hate. The fifth silent move: you stop trying to be understood. Understand this: not everyone will see your heart. Not everyone will value your efforts. That does not make your efforts worthless. Marcus Aurelius told himself, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." But he never said, "I need everyone to like me." Your worth is not measured by her opinion. Now listen carefully. If this message is speaking to you, if you know you've been giving too much energy to someone who gives you only confusion in return, then pause this video for 2 seconds and click the like button. Not for me, for yourself, as a silent promise that things are about to change. And to all the men still listening, you are stronger than you think. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to seek revenge to be respected. The strongest storms are silent, the kind that change landscapes without a sound. There will come a day when she sees you again. Not the you she used to ignore, but the you that God molded out of heartbreak and discipline. She will notice your calmness, your absence, your success, your peace, and in that silence, regret will speak louder than anything you could ever say. But remember, this is not about her. This is about you. You are not healing to make her jealous. You are healing because your soul deserves peace. You are not improving to get her attention. You are improving because you were created for more. And if you're still here, I want you to type in the comments right now, "I will rise." This is your declaration. This is your beginning. There's a quiet kind of strength that doesn't need to be seen to be real. It's the strength built in the night when no one is watching. When your phone is silent, when the world thinks you've been defeated. But what they don't know is that in this silence, you are not falling apart. You are rebuilding. You are learning how to no longer beg for love. You are learning how to respect yourself. You are learning, as Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is where the silent moves begin carving your destiny. The sixth silent move is simple but rare. You stop chasing closure. Listen carefully. So many men waste months, even years, waiting for someone to come back and apologize, waiting for the one who hurt them to explain why. But Seneca once said, "Time heals what reason cannot." If a woman disrespects you, leaves you confused, or treats you as though your feelings are disposable, you don't wait for her to return with answers. You create your own closure. You say to yourself, "It happened. I felt it, I learned from it. Now I move forward." You don't need an apology to heal. You don't need her permission to start over. When you stop asking, "Why did she do this to me?" and instead start asking, "What can I learn from this?" that is the day you stop being a victim and start becoming a master of your own life. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. Her actions do not define your worth. Your response does. Seventh, silent move. You rise without making noise. Some men try to make a woman regret by being loud, showing off online, pretending they've moved on. But real healing is not performance. It's progress. That's why your silent rise is more powerful. You work on your goals. You focus on your health, your finances, your purpose. You wake up early. You learn new skills. You get closer to God. You don't announce it. You let your absence from drama speak for you. You let your growth be the answer to disrespect. There is a peace that comes when you stop competing with others and start competing with your past self. You don't need to prove her wrong. You only need to prove yourself right, that you are always capable of more than she saw in you. The eighth silent move is one most people avoid because it demands real courage. You forgive in silence and move on. Even when you haven't received an apology. Not because she deserves it, but because you deserve your peace. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean you let her back into your life. It simply means you refuse to carry anger inside your soul like a poison. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like the wrongdoer." You don't avenge disrespect with disrespect. You avenge it by becoming a man who cannot be shaken so easily again. When you reach this level of discipline, something incredible happens. You no longer act out of pain. You act out of purpose. You don't do things to make her notice. You do them because they align with who you're becoming. And let me remind you, if these words are speaking to your heart, if you feel something awakening inside you, then pause and hit the like button right now. It helps this message reach more people who need it. And don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Within channel if you haven't already. We are building a brotherhood of men who don't just talk about strength, they live it. Now let me tell you something most people will never tell you. A woman's regret doesn't come when you argue. It doesn't come when you beg her to understand. It doesn't even come when you tell her how much she hurt you. Regret comes in silence. It comes when you disappear, not as revenge, but as evolution. It comes when she sees that you never turned bitter. You didn't become hateful. You didn't return to her for validation. You became better, but not for her, for yourself. In that silence, she starts to remember what she took for granted, the consistency you offered, the loyalty you gave, the kindness she didn't appreciate. But by the time she sees it, you are no longer waiting. You are no longer available for half-love, for disrespect, for confusion. You have built a foundation inside yourself that no one can break. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." What you went through hurt you, but it also shaped you. It forced you out of comfort. It forced you into growth. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and thank the pain for teaching you discipline. The 9th silent move. You build a life so full that you no longer look back. Focus on your physical strength. Exercise not to impress her, but to honor your body. Focus on your financial independence, not to flex on anyone, but to protect your future family. Focus on your spiritual connection, not to appear righteous, but to find true peace. When your life becomes filled with purpose, you naturally stop caring about who stayed or who left. Slowly, day by day, the need for validation will fade. You'll no longer check if she watched your story. You'll no longer wonder if she misses you. You'll no longer look at your phone waiting for her name to appear. Why? Because your life is now bigger than her absence. Marcus Aurelius warned himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Imagine if you lived every day with that awareness. Would you still waste time on people who don't value you? Or would you start building something that matters? Something eternal? If you're still here, I know this message is meant for you. So do something powerful. Type in the comments, "I will rise." It's not just words. It's your commitment. It's your first step into the man you were always meant to become. And remember this, the goal is not to make her regret. The goal is to become a man you do not regret being. A man who looks in the mirror and sees strength, not shame. A man who can be alone without feeling lonely. A man who no longer begs to be chosen, because he has already chosen himself. So stay with me. Because in the next part of this message, I'm going to show you more subtle, powerful moves that only strong men can make. These moves don't just earn respect, they create inner peace. They don't just change how she sees you, they change how you see yourself. There comes a moment in every man's life when silence becomes his greatest power. It's the moment he stops explaining himself. He stops defending his choices. He stops chasing after people who keep showing they don't care. Instead, he turns all of that energy inward. He builds, he transforms, he evolves. The 10th silent move is one of the hardest. You learn to walk away with dignity, even from the things your heart still wants. You don't leave because you've stopped caring. You leave because you finally understand your worth is not up for negotiation. You don't slam the door. You don't destroy her reputation. You don't beg her to see your value. You simply say less and distance yourself, not in anger, but in clarity. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And there is freedom in walking away from what keeps breaking you. This silent exit shakes people more than any argument ever could. Why? Because it shows you've grown beyond needing their approval. It shows you are not a prisoner of your emotions anymore. You've gained something far greater than revenge. You've gained mastery over yourself. And sometimes this is the moment she realizes what she lost. Not because you wanted her to regret it, but because the silence forces her to face it. Without your presence, without your messages, without your support, she begins to feel the emptiness of what she once took lightly. But by then, you are no longer waiting for her reaction. You are focused forward. Now listen closely. There is another silent move that changes everything. You no longer argue about your value. When someone disrespects you, devalues you, or plays with your emotions, you do not try to convince them to see your worth. You stop explaining your heart to those committed to misunderstanding it. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. But if they continue in ignorance, I walk away." That is Stoic restraint. You don't argue or beg. You observe, you accept reality, and you adjust your presence accordingly. This is where peace is found. Not in being understood, but in understanding yourself. If this message is speaking to you right now, pause and like this video to help it reach more men who need it. And if you're new here, subscribe to the Wisdom Within channel and turn on notifications. This isn't just content, it's a community. A place where broken men become disciplined, wise, unshakable. Now let's go deeper, because this silent transformation isn't just about relationships. It's about life. The next silent move. You stop reacting and start observing. In the past, maybe you reacted to everything. A disrespectful comment, a cold text, an ignored message, a sarcastic tone. Every little thing disturbed your peace. But a Stoic man understands not every reaction deserves energy. Epictetus told his students, "You become what you give your attention to." So you begin to guard your attention like a treasure. You don't let every offense pull you out of character. You don't let every disappointment steal your focus. You tell yourself, not every battle is mine to fight. And instead of reacting with emotion, you respond with silence, composure, or distance. People begin to notice this calm. Some admire it, some are puzzled by it. But one thing is certain, they cannot control you anymore. Because you are no longer controlled by your emotions. The next silent move, you master the art of being alone. This is where most people fail. They jump from one relationship to another, one distraction to another, never allowing themselves to sit in silence and ask, who am I without anyone else? If you don't master solitude, you will always tolerate disrespect just to avoid being alone. And that is the most dangerous dependency. But not you. You're choosing a different path. You are learning to enjoy your own company. You go to the gym alone. You sit in cafes with a book. You take walks without scrolling through your phone. You let silence become a friend, not a threat. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you reach this place within yourself, no one can make you feel lonely, because solitude becomes your sanctuary. And remember this, the more comfortable you become alone, the less you will tolerate people who disturb your peace. That is why learning solitude is one of the strongest moves you will ever make. Quiet, invisible, powerful. Rejection will no longer destroy you. Being ignored will no longer shake you. Disrespect will no longer tempt you into emotional chaos, because you have already faced your own soul and made peace with it. But let me be honest with you, this journey is not easy. It requires discipline. You will be tempted to send that long message. You will want to explain yourself. You will want to prove your worth. But every time that urge appears, remind yourself, my value is not in someone else's ability to see it. My value is in my ability to live it. Now, if you are still with me, I want you to prove to yourself that you're not just listening, you're committing. Go to the comments and type, I will rise. This is your declaration, your silent move. No need for explanation, just commitment, because here's the truth. Life is short, time is slipping. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of mortality, not to scare himself, but to stay awake. You could die right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. With that truth in your heart, would you still chase someone who disrespected you? Would you still spend energy proving your worth to someone who never cared? Or would you start building something eternal? Your character, your discipline, your legacy. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The disrespect you suffered, it was real. The pain was real. But what will be worse is if you waste the next months of your life stuck in that pain. Instead, convert it into power. Let it drive your transformation, not your bitterness. So from this moment, focus on your mind. Read. Learn. Reflect. Focus on your body. Train it, nourish it, discipline it. Focus on your spirit. Pray. Meditate. Seek wisdom. Focus on your mission. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just begin. Build a life that feels so full, so purposeful, that you no longer wonder who's thinking about you. Now let's speak deeper about one of the most powerful silent moves, emotional detachment. Not cold-heartedness, not bitterness, but emotional discipline. It means you no longer allow your worth to depend on how someone treats you. It means you acknowledge the pain, but you don't let the pain define you. It means you can love someone but still walk away when love is no longer honored. Epictetus said, "No person is free who is not master of himself." Emotional detachment is not heartlessness. It is freedom. Maybe right now you're thinking of someone who hurt you, who played games, who left your messages unread while being active on social media, who made you beg for the bare minimum. Listen carefully, your silence is not weakness. Your absence speaks louder than your anger ever could. There is a type of peace that scares people. It is the peace of a man who no longer reacts. He sees everything, but he no longer allows everything to touch his spirit. But understand something important. Silence is not about pretending nothing happened. It's about choosing your reaction. It's about saying, I will not waste another second of my life explaining my value to someone who refuses to see it. You take your focus back. You stop checking their profile. You stop hoping for an apology. You stop composing messages in your mind. You return to yourself. You invest your time into your purpose, your body, your mind, your spirit. Ask yourself honestly, how many hours did you waste replaying conversations in your head? How many nights did you stay awake thinking of what you could have done differently? That time was not wasted if it led you here, to this exact moment where you finally say, enough. I choose me now. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot control whether someone regrets losing you, but you can control whether you lose yourself trying to keep them. That's the true silent victory, when you choose self-respect over ego battles. And let me tell you something else. Your silence is not invisible. They notice. They may not admit it, but they feel it. When your calls stop, when your presence disappears, when your energy is no longer available at their convenience, that's when the realization begins. They go from he needs me to did I lose him? But by then, your life is already moving forward. You're not waiting for them to regret it. You're too busy becoming who you always should have been. If this message is reaching you at the right time, take a second and hit the like button, not for me, but as a decision for yourself. As a promise that you're done chasing what doesn't value you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the Wisdom Within channel, because this channel is not about anger or bitterness. It's about rising with dignity, healing with wisdom, and mastering the art of inner peace. Let's dive into another silent move, glowing up quietly. When you transform in silence, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, people feel it even if they don't hear it. You don't need to post every success. You don't need to announce your comeback. Let your life speak. Let your peace speak. Let your results speak. Seneca said, work in silence. Let success make the noise. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So, my friend, I want you to ask yourself, what will your silence build? Will it build a stronger body, a sharper mind, deeper faith, a more stable future? Because if your silence only becomes bitterness, you've missed the point. But if your silence becomes transformation, then you have already won. Stay with me. We're just getting started. If you're still here, type I stand strong in the comments so I know you're one of the ones who don't just hear, but act. Before we end this journey, take another breath. Let it slow your heart. You've stayed with me this far because somewhere deep within you, beneath the pain, beneath the anger, beneath the disappointment, there is a part of you that still believes in your own worth. And that part of you is the reason nothing can destroy you. That part of you is why you are still standing. Marcus Aurelius once said, you have endured many things and yet you have endured them. Act therefore as if you are made for this resilience. And you are. You are built for this. Not to remain broken, but to rise wiser. If you are still here, take a moment and comment blessed and ready. Not for me. For yourself. Because you're declaring what comes next. Not more chasing, not more overthinking, not more begging for respect. What comes next is the rise of a man who knows his value. So let's speak of the ultimate silent move. Rebuilding your life in peace, even while no one is cheering. No applause. No validation. Just discipline. Just God. Just you in the mirror. That is where regret is born. Not from what you said to her, but from what silence turned you into. A man of focus. A man with vision. A man with unshakable roots. You see, when someone disrespects you, they expect a certain reaction. They expect you to fall apart, to chase them, to prove your worth. But when you do the opposite, when you walk away, when you protect your peace, when you transform in silence, their mind begins to awaken to reality. They don't regret losing you because of a text you sent. They regret losing you because of the man you became after they lost you. Seneca said, "It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness." This pain you feel, this silence you hold, this distance you maintain, right? It is not punishment. It is preparation. You are not being buried, you are being planted, and the day will come when the seeds you water in silence will become the forest of your future. Let me speak directly to you. Yes, you. I know you've questioned your worth. I know you've blamed yourself for the disrespect you received. I know you've looked in the mirror and wondered, was I not enough? But you were never the problem. You simply offered a rare kind of love to someone who was not ready to receive it. Don't punish your heart for being pure. Don't harden your soul because someone didn't know how to hold it. Instead, do what the great Stoics did. Turn pain into wisdom, turn silence into strength, turn heartbreak into discipline. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." So say it now, who are you becoming? A man that commands respect not through force but through presence. A man who doesn't need to shout. His peace speaks for him. His actions speak for him. His absence speaks for him. Because the truth is, you don't need revenge. You don't need to make her regret anything. Life will do what life always does. It will show people what they lost once they cannot return to it. Regret does not come when you tell them they hurt you. It comes when they can no longer access the version of you they once took for granted. And when they try to return, and they will, you'll be different. You won't be angry. You won't be bitter. You'll simply be unavailable, not because you hate them, but because you've grown beyond the version of yourself that needed their approval. This is the purest form of strength, but this video is not about her. It's about you. It's about the life you're about to build. So listen, take back your mornings. Wake up earlier. Move your body. Read something that feeds your mind. Pray, breathe, write your goals down. Cut off distractions for 30 days. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. Discipline is the proof that you love yourself. Because the silent moves that cause regret are not petty games. They are the quiet victories of a man who chooses growth over gossip, healing over noise, purpose over pain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Don't talk about self-respect, live it. Don't talk about healing, practice it. Don't talk about change, become it. From today forward, understand something clearly. Your presence is a privilege. Your time is a blessing. Your love is not cheap, and any woman who fails to honor that will lose access to it, not out of revenge, but because a man who knows his value does not stay where respect is absent. So here are your final moves, not to hurt anyone, but to build yourself. Stay silent when you're disrespected, because dignity speaks louder than anger. Remove your energy from people who take you for granted. Let absence teach what presence could not. Invest in your purpose. Let your goals consume the space where pain once lived. Rise early. Build a life that makes you proud to wake up. Forgive quietly, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Glow up privately. Let your results speak for you. And finally, let God handle what you cannot. Trust that timing. Trust that justice. Trust that every wrong will be made right in a way that no human could ever arrange. Now, before we close, I want you to do something powerful. If this message touched your heart, if it awakened something inside you, if you feel ready to step into your next chapter, type "blessed and ready" in the comments. Claim it, speak it, own it. And if you haven't already, take a moment to like this video. It helps this message reach more people who need it. Subscribe to the Wisdom Within channel and turn on notifications. Here we don't just talk about pain, we transform it. We don't just talk about respect and we live it. We don't just talk about God when we walk with Him. My friend, thank you for staying until the end. I pray you leave this video stronger than you came. The world needs your strength. Your future needs your focus. And your soul needs your peace. Until next time, remain calm, remain disciplined, remain unshakable.